Greetings and salutations, I'm Keb. Welcome back to this Let's Play of Outpost 2, Divided Destiny. We're struggling along. Let's see if we can finish this mission. We're kind of losing all our units, so... slight problem there. Destroy the forum first. You are actually getting out of here. I won't have to scan the last factory there, so I just have to go destroy the last advanced lab, which is over here-ish.
We are under attack.
If this guy could actually kill the spaceport, that would be fantastic, so... oh, dang it. Yeah, try to kill the spaceports, that's your only task right now. You are trying to get through. And of course you decided to have only short-range units.
We are under attack.
I need you to go somewhere. Like here. It looks like we're going to get the spaceport pretty soon. Then it's just a matter of getting these units out of there. That's a spaceport. Oh. You guys have mostly lasers. That's bad. I think you guys are actually not gonna go here. You know what, team? Focus on going here instead. These two lasers are gonna be enough to blow that up, and they're gonna blow themselves up at the same time. You guys are just gonna sit there and look pretty. Yeah, group 3. Don't sit here. Actually, no. You two were still lasering this. You, on the other hand, can go up and protect the convoy. These units are basically lost. I'm just gonna keep them there to destroy whatever they can.
We are under attack. Vehicle destroyed.
Yeah, and of course the two laser links that were down here got blown to bits. And the advanced lab went poof. So, now it's just a matter of getting these two vehicles back to the starting position. Which was somewhere up
We
here.
are under attack.
Wasn't it? Well, there it is. Okay, group 1, if you can actually get out of there, that's fine. Doubt you can. Is that actually daylight creeping in? I think it is. That's kind of... so you're telling me there actually is a timer on this map? Come on, you can destroy this and then destroy the vehicle factory. Just to make sure we don't get any surprise visits. I don't think there's anything hiding out here. Only the rare ore mine of theirs, and that's not gonna be a problem. At least it shouldn't be. Destroy this vehicle facility, just because we can.
Damage warning.
Damage warning? What? Are you shooting each other? Yes, of course. I should... I didn't say go there, as I just attack it. That kind of explains what happened. Yeah, the acid cloud is an excellent way to destroy yourself. And that's why I don't like it at all. Luckily, this is going to be the last mission with customized units, or rather, where units are handed to us, I think. I think there's only one mission left after all this. Could be wrong, but I don't think we have much story left, do we? So it seems right. And this mission kind of scared me, but those reinforcements definitely helped. With just this force, we would kind of had a bit of a trouble, I think, beating through all the defenses we needed to get through.
Caution. Vortex watch initiated.
As long as that isn't right on top of our... Yes, it is. As long as that isn't right on top of the start. Yeah, it is. So... That is all kinds of screwy. That was timely. I want a vortex right at the right at the end. Well, technically it'll be up here, but yeah. I think we'll have to wait a bit then. Don't think I dare drive straight into a vortex.
Alert. Vortex imminent.
Yes, 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 I hear you. I should have switched to this map mode ages ago. So much easy to spot their buildings and stuffs. I can't spot their units, but I can't spot that anyway. I'm so bad at it. And I think that actually means they're not producing any more units. Port Plymouth. I could have won this mission actually.
Vortex detected.
Oh, there's the vortex. Should probably wait until this one has whirled its way across the map. And we could destroy more, but there's no point. We destroyed their factories. Well, most of them. There might be one arachnid factory or something still out there. And certainly, yes, when you take their items, that triggers the reaction. They certainly bring in tons of units at that point.
Electrical storm watch initiated.
Oh! Uh-oh, no. Don't steal my units, you bastard. Destroy that spider. Destroy that spider now. Destroy the spider. Oh, fudge.
We are under attack.
Then the EMP. And the vehicle he stole.
Vehicle destroyed.
Okay, how about the Twister? He's...
Electrical storm imminent.
I thought he didn't have more vehicles, but apparently he could still produce a few, so... Well, that was kind of annoying. Bunch up there. You are just playing dodge the Twister. But right now I can't really see the landscape, so I don't know if I can actually escape. Come on. Stay over there. Oh, there it goes. Finally. Straight home for victory.
Warning. Electrical storm detected.
On the bright side, these missions at least aren't quite as annoying as the Conestoga wreckage missions. Trying to find those wreckage pieces, that's quite the Easter hunt. Oh.
You have done well. Our colony is surviving.
Yay! And let's continue, shall we? Actually, I'm gonna make a save here, I think, because we're gonna be reading a bit, aren't we? so I have it. Just in case something goes wrong. Another Plymouth defeat. Onwards, Mission 12. Mission briefing. Commander, with the gene bank secured, we must finish our starship and evacuate for the last time. Word has leaked out that we may not have enough room for everyone on the starship, and low morale is hampering our efforts. See what you can do to make the colonists happier and more productive for our final effort. The scientists we rescued have brought information about the level of desperation at Plymouth. They are simply too far behind to finish a starship in time. They may be ready to negotiate a treaty, or they may launch one last full-scale assault on our spaceport. Plymouth has recently begun to make some special modifications to their SULVs. Our rescue came before the scientists could gather information about these modifications. Be ready for anything that happens. Plymouth will probably attack with everything they have left. If so, we must defend our colony long enough to collect the necessary resources for a long journey to a new world. We don't know what to expect. Perhaps Plymouth will finally realize the gravity of their situation and begin to act rationally. Quickly finish the items in a specific objectives list and evacuate the colony. Humanity lives or dies with your actions, Commander. Good luck. Objectives. Evacuate 10,000 units of common metals, 10,000 units of rare metals, 10,000 units of food. So the space part, okay. But I assume we also have to finish the spacecraft. I don't know if we actually have. Let's see now. That's that. And story. Exodus. Brooke was incredulous. Human factors? What the frag does that mean? In frustration, he kicked the recycle bin across Senator Outson's tiny office and immediately felt like a childish fool for doing so. Yet if he was going to die, he had to know why. Even Axon, as many enemies as he had made, had been given a boarding pass. Why me? Senator Outson was sympathetic, but unyielding. Son, you want the bureaucratic line or the straight truth? He read the answer in Brooke's face. The truth is, somebody with power doesn't like you. The Savant had you on the preliminary crew roster, but there's a tweak built into the program to allow some override of the system. In theory, there are some human factors that the computer might not be able to understand or appreciate, and that allowed for adjustment. In practice, it's been used in a number of cases, including yours. Echo is the only answer. This is the revenge she promised. You've been a great help to us recently, Brooke. You've fought the good fight and done well. I wish I could reward that. Outson shrugged his shoulders. But there isn't anything I can do about it privately. And if we go public, the entire crew selection process could devolve into chaos. We could all be at one another's throats before we knew what was happening. If it's any consolation, I'm not going either. None of us on the Senate are. We declared it a conflict of interest and removed ourselves from the running. Brooke looked at the man, the tiredness in his eyes, the lines that had appeared in his face in the last few months, the slight tremor in his once strong and steady hands, and found himself regretting that he'd come at all. I'm sorry, Senator. I didn't know. You've got kids? He nodded. 2. It's hard for them, for us all. Brooke stood and self-consciously repositioned the recycle bin. Just forget I was here, Senator. I'm sorry to have bothered you. He paused at the door. You know you can still count on me, for whatever it takes. He smiled sadly. I know he can, son, and thank you. Nobody knew when the gene bank would be transferred, including Axon. On the assumption that secrecy was the best way to safeguard it from the Masters, they'd created the false gene bank and the cover story that it had been damaged beyond repair during the return from Plymouth. Axon hadn't expected that story to hold them forever, but it gave him time to hide the real item and arrange for its safe removal to the starship. Axon knew that a few people who knew a secret, the safer the secret was. So he'd confided only in a trusted few, Brooke, Colo, and Outson, and had recruited these 3 to assist him in the move. But since none of them would have advance warning of the event, there was no possibility of the information leaking out somehow. He'd instructed Craft to generate a randomly timed message before a randomly chosen launch, and that message has popped out hours before. Then the first flaw in the plan became apparent. He wasn't able to contact Colo. The scientist wasn't in his quarters, or in the largely mothballed advanced lab, where the gene bank had been hidden in a case marked geological instruments. Brooke had seemed only mildly concerned. He's probably found himself a lady friend that he's staying the night with, Axon. Not everybody can be as saintly as you are, or as unlucky as I am. But Axon's internal alarms all went off at once. Every step and turn of the trip from the lab to the space center, he'd been braced for trouble. His hand never left his pocket, whether it gripped a fully loaded pistol, his senses scanning for anything the slightest a bit out of the ordinary, but they reached the RLV loading platform without incident. 4 armed volunteer guards flanked the yawning cargo hatch in the big rocket side. He scanned their faces and took some comfort in the fact that they were all familiar, all people he'd worked with before. A technician checked off their cargo manifest and authorization in its clipcom and directed them to a location where the crate could be attached to the deck with quick-release bolts, then disappeared back into his station by the hatch. Axon watched closely as Brooke fastened and triple-checked the bolts. He shook his head. This just isn't right. I have to see it with my own eyes. Brooke looked confused, but stepped back out of the way as Axon unlocked the crate lid and removed a false lid designed to simulate the top of the equipment listed on the manifest. Under it, the actual top of the gene bank was exposed. Another key and lock was required to open it. Vapor from the cold, liquefied gases inside boiled over the side of the box and cascaded to the deck like a frosty waterfall. He produced an insulated glove from his pocket and put it on. Using the protected hand, he unlatched the mechanism and slid it out of its hyper-cold bath. The gene bank's complex innards were revealed. Tens of thousands of tiny glass vials housed in a complex carousel mechanism capable of delivering any given vial by a number. A large insulated can at the top housed a motor and drivetrain that powered the whole thing. "It looks fine to me," said Brooke. Axon squinted and looked closely. It did look fine, and it was certainly genuine. Unlike the original Earth-made bank that had been destroyed, this one had been handmade in Eden just before the dissidents left to found Plymouth, and no complete plans had ever existed. The replica they'd created had been designed only to fool eyes that had never seen the original. Axon had studied this one carefully before committing it to its hiding place. "It's genuine." He slid the mechanism back into the case and sealed the lid before any thermal damage was done. His fingers played over the small control panel that projected from the upper side of the box. "All the more reason I think the Masters are up to something." Brooke's brow wrinkled in concern. "You have any idea how to find out what?" Axon nodded. "We'll ask." Straightforward enough, I suppose. The familiar structure factory control gallery was dark and unnaturally quiet. No new structures had been produced in months, and the plant might never be used again. That made it perfect neutral territory for their meeting. Axon and Brooke stood at one side of the platform, Echo and G on the other. Everybody had a gun. Nobody was talking. Echo broke the silence. "Waiting for something, Elder?" Axon said something, but just then there was a rumble, and the building shook slightly. On hearing the sound, Echo smiled for no apparent reason. "That would be the Clipper taking off. It's safe to talk now," Brooke said. Echo was still smiling. "Safe to talk about the gene bank? Yes, I suppose it is." Brooke's mouth fell open. Axon just met her eyes unflinchingly. "You knew?" She laughed. "Your fake was very convincing, even after we'd inspected it closely. There was even human genetic material in the remains of the vials." Her face went serious. "It was too good. I analyzed the genetic material. All of it had been reproduced from a single sample, and as you can imagine, I had no trouble determining whose." "Dr. Cole," said Axon. "The fake had to have been crafted in one of the labs, we knew that. But the sample told us who had done the work, and from there, the rest was easy." Brooks stepped forward, anger on his face. "Where's Colo?" "He had an unfortunate accident, several of them actually, until he told us what he needed to know. And by then, though, the cumulative efforts were fatal." Axon felt his stomach knot. One more death on his conscience. He glanced wearily at Brooke. The young man looked mad enough to do something stupid, and there'd been enough innocent deaths today. So you found the gene bank and sabotaged it. How? It looked fine when I checked it before launch. She laughed, deep and hard, until tears ran down her cheeks. Only G's vigilance kept them from subduing her. Finally she managed to calm herself a bit. What's so funny? The irony. Your precious gene bank is fine. I took it for granted that you wouldn't be any less thorough in your inspection than we were. If the gene bank had been less than perfect, we might not have been able to smuggle the bomb that we installed in its motor housing onto the RLV, and in turn onto the starship. Brooke's eyes were wide. You used the gene bank as a Trojan horse so you could use your bomb to hijack the ship. She laughed again. And now the starship is ours. We won't let you leave here until the box is safely stowed on the starship. Put down your guns, slowly, said a woman's voice from behind them. Axon glanced over his shoulder to see a muscular woman aiming a rifle at them from the rear stairway. He recognized her as one of the three masters Brooke had identified from his first meeting, the one named Sharon. Do what she says, he instructed Brooke, as he laid his own gun gently on the deck and pushed it away with his toe. He looked at Echo. You're going to kill us now, I suppose. She smiled, clearly enjoying the moment. I might kill you, Elder. Her attention turned back to Panati, and anger flashed in her eyes. But not you, Brooke. I want you alive to watch the Clipper's final departure with me on it. I want you left here to watch the light in the sky as the starship fires its engines and pulls out of orbit. I want you here to see the flash when I kick your precious gene bank out the airlock and blow it to atoms. I want you here when the Blight rolls over the horizon and melts you into a bag of pus. When the Blight gets me, he answered, a new calm in his voice, you'll be right here to enjoy the show. Your bomb isn't on the way to the starship. It's about half a meter under the platform where you're standing. Reflexively she locked down, then caught herself. You couldn't have removed it so quickly. There were too many booby traps. We didn't, said Axon. When I realized the mechanism didn't work, I guessed you might have done something of the sort, and decided to let you tell me what your plan was. Loyal member of the Volunteer Guard have been monitoring this whole conversation remotely, and are watching all exits from the building. Echo dug frantically in her pocket and produced a small car device. I can still destroy the gene bank with you two and it as hostages. We can go wherever we want, do whatever we want. You still lose. Only if you're all willing to die for the cause of glorious genetic purity. His eyes locked with G. Are you G? Do you believe in this that strongly? Yes, he said with only a slight hesitation. You, Sharon? Completely, she replied. There was no hesitation at all, either in timing or voice or tone. That settled it. His only hope was to work on G. He made eye contact with the big man again. I suppose you think Van Dozier believes it as well, don't you, G? He frowned, suspicious, but nodded. Echo realized that they were up to something, and waved her gun at him. Shut up, both of you! G, Sharon, don't listen to them. Is there something you wouldn't like them to hear, Dr. Van Dozier? Some precious personal secret? Shut up! You're all clones in the inner circle, aren't you, G? The 99th percentile people, the super race. G said nothing, but he was listening intently. Axon continued. I suppose Echo told you she was one, too. Maybe even showed you documents to prove it. But those would be easy enough for her to fake in her position. The look on Echo's face showed that she'd finally realized what he was about to say. Axon half expected her to shoot him then, which might have served its ultimate purpose as well as what happened. It's a lie. Tell them, Brooke. Brooke looked at her, almost apologetically. Her parents were elders. She was conceived naturally. Her father died before she was born, and she and her mother nearly died during the famine 3 years after the landing. He hesitated. Her identical twin did die. Tears were streaming down Echo's face. Her gun hand trembled. No! She's just one of the genetic mongrels your movement professes to hate. A hurt, broken one who has spent her whole life trying to replace a twin she can barely remember. Echo shook her head. No, no, then she fired. Things started to happen all at once. Axon ducked as the muzzle of G's gun swung up toward him and fired. Axon hit the deck and rolled, unsure whether either bullet had hit him. Brooke jumped towards Van Dozier and her gun fired again at point-blank range. The bomb trigger flew out of her hand and landed on the deck near Axon, who grabbed it and shielded it with his body. Axon was looking for the gun when he realized that G was lowering his own weapon and was paying no attention to him. G's attention was fixed on the rear stair, where the woman known as Sharon hung lumpily over the railing, blood running down her arm and over her face in a thick cascade. Van Dozier pushed Brooke away from her. He flattened out on his back, revealing the blackened hole on the front of his shirt, and lay unmoving. Van Dozier raised her pistol to shoot Axon. G spun and shot her cleanly through the forehead. He watched her fall, then turned and handed the gun, butt first, to Axon. "I think I've made a mistake," he said. Axon slumped into the lone chair in his quarters and looked around wearily. He couldn't remember the last time his life had been this simple. Most of his work was done. The debts that could be repaid had been, all but two. He looked at Craft. This was the first one. Craft, open a channel to Emma, full visual. It took almost 20 minutes before her face appeared on screen. He didn't move in all that time. "Emma, if you have a favor to ask me, there has never been a better time." She smiled that sad smile. "Good, because I'm finally ready to ask. And to offer a little gift in exchange. Something Frost, your missing scientist, and I was able to cook up in the last few months. Craft, please display the data we're sending over for Axon." Another window opened on the screen, displaying a series of schematics and formulas. "What is it?" "A minor modification of your starship's ion engines to improve the efficiency. It should increase your payload capacity by 10 to 15% with no additional fuel." Axon was surprised in spite of himself. "Why are you giving us this, Emma? Why squander your resources on something you had no way to apply?" She chuckled. "Because I have a use for that extra payload, Axon. I'm sending you some passengers." Brooke lay in the med station bed, watching his own life signs flickering on the screens. He would have preferred to do most anything else, but it hurt to move. The door slid open and Axon walked in. He leaned over the bed. "How are you doing?" "For someone with 3 broken ribs and possible internal bleeding, not bad. It could have been worse. Would have been worse if he hadn't stuffed those armored pads, taken from a combat suit, under his shirt as Axon had insisted. He felt rotten, and he found himself smiling. We did it, didn't we?" Axon smiled back. "We did it. Even if Plymouth's forces overrun us, the gene bank is safe on the starship. We've saved everything that humanity is, given it another chance." He patted the young man gently on his arm. Then his expression changed, as though he remembered something almost forgotten. He reached into his pocket. "I brought you something." He removed a black plastic square and placed it in Brooke's hand. Brooke rolled it over and looked at the Eden logo embossed on the surface. It was a boarding pass. He looked up at Axon. "Where did you get this?" "It's mine." "What?" Senator Outson was able to shuffle some records without drawing undue attention. "It has your name on it now." "I can't take this." He tried to hand the pass back to Axon. Axon just waved it away. "I never intended to go. I'm old, at least compared to the rest of you. I managed to duck hibernation sickness the first time. I doubt I'd be so lucky the second. Even with the improved methods, it's your turn." He stood and started to leave the room. "Just remember, I've been where you are about to go. Don't be so sure I'm doing you any favors." And there we go. Okay. That's all story time. I think I'm going to take a break here before we actually start though, so we'll do that. Thank you for watching.